In 696 BCE, the third year of Duke Xuang of Lu's reign, he happened to be enjoying himself on a high terrace. From there he caught sight of a beautiful young woman in the garden of the Dang clan, a noble family of Lu. Captivated by her beauty, he became utterly infatuated and unable to free himself from his desire. Duke Xuang therefore sent a palace attendant to summon her. The young woman's name was Meng Ren, the eldest daughter of the Dang family. Although the one summoning her was the ruler himself, Meng Ren at first refused to meet him. Duke Xuang then swore an oath, promising to make her his principal consort, and only then did she agree. That very night they stayed together on the terrace, and the next day he returned to the palace. A year later, Meng Ren gave birth to a son named Ban. Duke Xuang wished to establish Meng Ren as his consort and sought the approval of his mother, but Wen Jiang refused. She was determined that her son should form a marriage alliance with her own natal family, and therefore arranged for him to marry the eldest daughter of Duke Xiang of Qi. Because his fiancée, Lady Jiang, was still very young, Duke Xuang waited another 20 years before finally marrying her. During those more than 2 decades, although Meng Ren was not formally established as the principal consort, she was Duke Xuang of Lu's most beloved companion and effectively took charge of all affairs of the inner palace. In this sense, it can be said that Duke Xuang did, in fact, fulfill the oath and promise he had made earlier. By the time Lady Jiang came to the state of Lu to take charge of the harem, Meng Ren was already gravely ill and confined to her bed. She passed away not long afterward and was buried with the rites accorded to a concubine. The woman from Qi surnamed Jiang, later known to history as Lady Ai Jiang, never bore any children. Her younger sister, Xu Jiang, accompanied her as a concubine, her status being subordinate to that of the principal consort, Lady Ai Jiang. When Xu Jiang gave birth to a son, Prince Qi, he was taken in and raised by Lady Ai Jiang as her adopted son. Duke Xuang of Lu, however, remained emotionally attached to his first love, Meng Ren, and had no affection for Lady Ai Jiang. Nor did he show any particular care or concern for her adopted son, Prince Qi. Duke Xuang of Lu also had another minor concubine named Qingfu, the daughter of the Viscount of Suju. She was of Dongyu origin. Suju was a small viscountcy subordinate to the state of Lu. Qingfu bore a son named Xin. Qingfu had a close relationship with Jiyu and once sought to entrust him with the plan of having Prince Xin formally established as Duke Xuang's heir. Jiyu, however, refused, giving the reason that Prince Ban is the elder, and the matter was therefore set aside and left unresolved. Although Lady Ai Jiang held the status of principal consort, Duke Xuang of Lu's marriage to her was essentially a political alliance and lacked genuine affection. On the surface they treated each other with courtesy and propriety as husband and wife, but in reality Duke Xuang did not greatly favor or cherish his consort. Emotionally lonely, Lady Ai Jiang became attracted to Prince Qingfu, a tall and imposing man, and entered into an illicit relationship with him, to which they became deeply attached. She also formed a faction with Shuya, agreeing that at some future time they would support Qingfu in ascending the throne, with Shuya serving as chief minister. In 668 BCE, Lu suffered an entire winter without rain and planned to conduct a rain-invoking ritual. On the day before the ceremony, music was performed in the courtyard of the noble Liang family. The Liang clan had a daughter of exceptional beauty, and Prince Ban was enamored of her. He secretly associated with her, and the two even pledged that she would become his wife. On that day, the Liang girl climbed a ladder to look over the wall and watch the musical performance. A gatekeeper named Luo happened to glimpse her beauty from outside the wall. He stopped beneath it and deliberately sang a song to tease and woo her. The song went: "The peach tree flourishes in youthful bloom, growing ever more fragrant even through winter's chill. My heart is tightly bound with longing, unable to cross the separating wall. I wish our wings could beat as one, and that we might transform into mandarin ducks." Prince Ban was also at the Liang residence observing the ritual. Hearing the singing, he went out to see what was happening. When he saw that it was the gatekeeper Luo, he flew into a rage and ordered his attendants to seize him and flog him 300 times, until blood covered the ground. After Luo repeatedly begged for mercy, he was finally released. Prince Ban then reported the matter to Duke Xuang. Duke Shuang said, "Luo has indeed been disrespectful and ought to be put to death. He should not have been merely flogged. Luo is exceptionally brave and swift, unmatched in the realm. If you flog him and spare his life, he will surely harbor hatred against you." The gatekeeper Luo was a renowned warrior in the state of Lu. On that day, his sense of honor had been gravely wounded, and Duke Shuang feared that he would seek revenge against Prince Ban. Prince Ban, however, dismissed the concern, saying, "He is merely a man of brute courage without strategy, what is there to fear?" As it turned out, the gatekeeper Luo indeed bore a deep grudge against Prince Ban and consequently placed himself under the patronage of Qingfu. In the autumn of the following year, Duke Shuang fell gravely ill and began to harbor suspicions about Qingfu. He therefore deliberately summoned his half-brother Shiya first, testing his attitude toward the question of succession. Shiya and Qingfu were full brothers by the same mother and were acting in collusion, so Shiya replied, "Qingfu is capable. If Qingfu were to succeed to the rulership, what would you have to worry about?" After hearing Shiya's words, Duke Shuang was deeply disappointed, and his illness worsened. Fortunately, when Duke Shuang consulted Jiyu, the youngest son of Duke Huan of Lu and Duke Shuang's full younger brother, Jiyu comforted him and replied, "When your lordship married Mangren in the past, you swore an oath to establish her as your consort. Now her status has already been reduced, must her son also be discarded?" Duke Shuang was still uneasy and said, "Shiya urges me to establish Qingfu. What should be done?" Jiyu replied, "Qingfu is cruel and devoid of kinship feeling, he is not fit to be a ruler. Shiya is acting in private collusion with his elder brother and cannot be heeded. I shall see to it that Shiya is persuaded to die, and thus uphold Prince Ban." Duke Shuang nodded in agreement and, from then on, was no longer able to speak. After leaving the palace, Jiyu urgently ordered a palace attendant to convey Duke Shuang's verbal command, summoning Shiya to the house of the noble Xingji. Shiya obeyed and went to the Xing family residence. Jiyu then sealed a bottle of poisoned wine and instructed Xingji to kill Shiya with it. A written message was also delivered to Shiya. "By order of the ruler, you are to die. Drink this and die, and your descendants will continue to hold their position. If you refuse, your entire clan will be destroyed." Shiya still refused to comply, so Xingji held him by the ears. Soon after, blood flowed from all 9 orifices, and Shiya died. That same night, Duke Shuang passed away. Jiyu assisted Prince Ban in overseeing the funeral and announced that the following year the era name would be changed. Envoys from various states came to offer their condolences.